that pen? Oh, here we go. All right, guys. So I'm gonna try to talk and do this. I am so excited, guys, because I am filling out the paperwork. Let me cover up his name for my son's functional communication device. And for you guys who don't know what that is a device that helps children who have speech issues or autism or different other disabilities that may impair them from being able to communicate, formally with us, or, in words with us. So right now he's in speech therapy. He gestures, he can communicate with gestures, pictures, and sometimes speech. How does your child communicate? Who does your child communicate with? Circle, all that applies. Familiar adults, familiar children, familiar adults. And yeah, he communicates with everybody. He be trying to talk to everybody now, y'all. Okay, please circle yes or no. Does your child respond when you call his name? He does now, yes. Look at objects when you point to it, yes. Show you he or she wants something, use eye contact, yes. Show you he or she wants something by pushing or pulling you, yes. Show you he or she wants something by, I'm just gonna say he, by bringing it to you, yes. Initiate a social game, finger play, tickles, pattern. Yes, I'm gonna say yes. Show interest in social games, yeah. Wants to continue a social game, yeah. Point at an item to show you it, yes. I'm trying to hurry, make sure I have all of this filled out for his speech therapist. Because we want to get him a communication device. For you guys who don't know what that is, y'all see his iPad? This is just a regular Apple iPad, but his communication device would look similar to this, and it would have a bunch of things on there for him to communicate, like, hey, I'm hungry, hey, I want water. And what he'll do is point to it, and it'll communicate for him. So hopefully that also helps him to formulate more sentences. For you guys who don't know, my son used to be nonverbal, meaning he had no words at all. He wasn't able to do anything but grunt and just kind of just cry. And even when before he was formally diagnosed, he wouldn't even point to nothing. And so once I learned that, I suspected my son had autism, and he was too young to be tested. And I had talked to someone about we did get him tested when he was, once I figured out what autism was, I went ahead and started teaching him things like reading, counting, and stuff like that. Once he got his formal autism diagnosis, we had to go on a wait list to get him ABA services, which is applied analysis behavior therapy. And so we had to get on a waiting list for that, and it took us almost 2 years to get even a call back. So during that time, I researched what it was, and I started teaching him at home. So I would I would talk to him slowly, but like moving my lips slowly, and then make him repeat what I said. Or if he wanted something, versus me just giving it to him and I knew what he wanted, I'll tell him water. And I'll tell him, like, you have to use your words. You want this. I know it sounds cruel, but it's the best way to teach a child who is nonverbal how to communicate. And that's how we got him to talk, y'all. So he wasn't talking a lot, but now he has more words since he's in ABA, he's in speech therapy, he's also in OT. I know that sounds like a lot, but I want to make sure that my son's prepared for the world, guys. Because the world is not very nice. It's not a nice place. And in this world, they don't care if you have a disability or not. I seen where they put somebody who has autism in jail for a very long time. So I want to teach my son independence. I want to teach him how smart he is and how amazing he is. Every night before he goes to bed, I tell him Carter is sweet. Carter is kind. Carter is brave. Carter is handsome. Carter is smart. Carter is amazing. And I speak life into my son so that he understands that no matter if he's different or not, he can do anything he wants to do. He can. And aid him. And that is so important. That's why I advocate for people who have children with disabilities. If you have insurance, look into see what's available to help your child have the tools that they need to communicate, to learn, and to learn and to do anything that they want to do. It's always about being positive because children with disabilities, they feed off of negativity and they feed off of positivity. So if you use positive reinforcement with your child, whether they have a disability or they're what we call normal, because is anybody really normal? No. Then they'll have their tool set and the confidence to ask you for things. So once my son learned how to communicate with me and to request the things that he wanted, even though when he spoke it didn't sound like how I sound, I got what he was saying. And I said, here you go, Carter. Here you go, baby. Great job. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. And when he gets that positive reinforcement, he be so excited that hey, mommy knew what I said. When they know that you understood them, that gives them confidence to keep talking. And then that creates a safe place where when that child is going through something, they don't melt down all the time. Because a lot of kids who have special needs, or I'm just going to speak on autism because that's what I have experience with. Kids who have autism, they sometimes break down and cry a lot because you're not understanding what they're saying and they're frustrated. Just imagine you have so much that you want to get out and you want to say, and you're trying your hardest to communicate that with your parents, and they're not understanding you. It makes you realize that, hey, something's different here. I want this, but she's not getting it. Why is she not getting it? And it causes them to break down and to cry. And yeah, their behaviors isn't going to look like your other child when your child gets upset that they haven't got something, because they don't quite understand how to communicate their feelings. And they don't understand how to get you to understand what they need. So that's why they act out. And that's why it's so important for us to be patient. Now, I tell you, I'm a mama discipline now. We don't do those bitings, hitting, and all of that. Now, I ain't saying I just be out here spanking my child. My child may get a tap. Hey, did you just bite me? No, that's not okay. We don't like that. And like I was saying in my other videos, when you teach them that that behavior is not okay, then when they get older and they get bigger than you, believe me, my son is 9 years old and he's going to be pretty tall. My dad was 7'2". He's going to be pretty tall. I'm not tall. I got my mama's height. But my son is going to be tall. So children know when they're bigger than you. And if you have not instilled discipline with your child that has a disability, when they get older than you, then the word no is going to trigger them. The word no is going to make them feel like, I'm bigger than my mama. I'm bigger than my dad. I'm going to try them. And that's why it is so important for you not to coddle your child that has a disability. Because when you over coddle your children, they're going to learn no sense of discipline, no sense of accountability. Because just because my son has autism, it does not mean that he does not understand right from wrong. Now, he may not understand everything, but he does understand, hey, you can't do this. So if I teach my child right now at the age that he is, that it's not okay to hit people, then he knows that it's not okay to hit nobody. He can't hit mommy. He can't hit daddy. He can't hit nobody. So when he goes into this world and he has confrontation, he knows I'm going to walk away. Or if I'm upset, I can't just hit that person because I'm not getting my way. It's my responsibility as his mom to teach him that. Now, granted, as long as I gave him the tools, and if he goes and do some other stuff, then, I'm just going to say I did what I was supposed to do. Because sometimes our kids, they do things that they're not supposed to do, even though we taught them not to do it. But for the most part, children with disabilities, and a lot of people think people who have disabilities and mental disorders, they're the most violent people on earth. They are not. It is the people that we call normal. It's the everyday people we see walking down the street who are more violent and more likely to commit a crime against any of us, not the community of the disabled. It's just not. It's just the numbers don't lie. But I just want you guys to know how excited I am about getting this communication device, because it's going to help my child formulate more sentences, communicate more, and I'm overly excited. So, my message today, guys, if you guys know anybody out there who has a child or children or young adults who have disabilities and they're not utilizing services, implore them to utilize services, because these services are going to benefit them and their children. Because if you was to tell them, hey, do you know if you went to sign your child up for this and this and that, you can get a check for them, they're gonna have their behinds down there first thing smoking. So if you can go sign your child up for a check, why can't you go sign your child up for services to help your child succeed in life and be okay? People be quick to jump in line for some money, but they don't be wanting to put in the work to help their children. And especially our disabled community, because you guys just don't understand. There's a lot of children who are in the foster care system with disabilities, and no one wants them or no one wants to take them in because someone gave up on them because that person didn't want to do the work or educate themselves. Now, granted, there are some people who just can't handle it, and that's different. And I'm not here to judge, but I'm saying, though, if you can run your behind down there to go get a check for your child, you can run your behind to go get services for your child to help your child be better, to be okay, in that way they can be self-sufficient, because there's a lot of kids who have disabilities and they work when they become adults and they're okay when they become adults. But it's all about the things that we put in place now for our kids. Like, they didn't ask to be here. They didn't ask to be here, guys. And it's our responsibility to aid them with the tools that they need. It's our responsibility. Remember that, guys. And if you really love your children, you're going to want them to be okay when you're not here. I think about when I'm not here, when I'm not going to be on this earth forever, man. So I have to make sure that I at least done everything that I could to equip my son with the tools that he needs to succeed, and to create a community where he feels safe that he can go, and keep that bond between him and his older siblings, because his siblings are grown. My oldest child is 26 years old, about to be 27. He's the youngest. He's 9 years old. So I have to make sure that I keep the relationship intact between him and his siblings. And that's a lot for me to even put on my older kids. To say, hey, if something happened to me, would you be willing to take your brother in to make sure your brother's okay? And I know that he's going to need a place to go. So I have to make sure I teach him right from wrong. I have to make sure he has the tools he needs to be able to cope in public when he's feeling overwhelmed, or when he's feeling stressed out, or to help him develop the communication skills so that he can communicate with a person, hey, you're too close to me, or this is too loud and I'm not comfortable with it. Can you please back up? Because if I have to leave this earth and leave him in the services with his sisters or his brothers, I got to make sure when he moves into their home, he doesn't disrupt their home. Because if he disrupt their home and they can't handle him, then no matter how much they love him, they may want to put him in a group home for children or for adults who have special needs. And I've worked in these homes, and a lot of these places are not nice. They don't hire staff who really care. They don't hire staff who really love their job, because they have a need that they have to fill. So sometimes they just hire people to fill the void. And I don't want my son in no type of position like that, ever, ever. So that's why I try to teach my son as much as he can to be independent, because if he learns some type of independence, then maybe he can get assisted living, where he can go get his own apartment, have a CNA come out just to kind of guide him, make sure he's okay. I'm going to make sure my son never moves into a place like that. And I thought about starting a group home or a community living place where people who are adults who have different disabilities like IDD, autism, or traumatic brain injuries, where they can live and feel safe and be okay. Now, and you heard the word, feel safe, feel comfortable, because it's their home. I want them to feel comfortable in their space. That is my goal, guys. Yep. But guys, I'm about done with this. Carter's speech. Well, actually, he's done with speech. He's at OT right now. His OT is about to be over. I'm about to finish this paperwork. And I will talk to you guys later. But I just wanted to get on here and encourage somebody, and any mother, father, or family member out there who knows someone who may have some type of disability. It's okay. Um, just put in the work, guys, and give yourself grace. It's hard out here, y'all. This life is not easy. I know I talk like it's easy. It's not. It's all in steps. But life is hard sometimes, and sometimes we just can't give up just because life get hard, yo. And that's the problem. A lot of people be ready to throw in the towel. Like, I'm telling you, if you put in the work with these kids who have disabilities, if you put in the work, yo, you will see them be great. But even if they turn out to not be great, or if what you're doing isn't helping or anything, at least you did the work. At least you did the work. At least you could go to sleep at night and say, you know what? I sought out every services that was available to my child. And maybe this just wasn't something for my child, you know? Just put in the work, guys. But I love you guys. All right, bye.